We have a new update coming to Watcher Realms tomorrow, and this June update is looking pretty dang good. There is a lot of really exciting content as well as changes in this. I think the word for it is pretty awesome. I don't see how this could be anything but a plus. There's just a lot of W's in here, so let's unpack it. I'm going to aim to break this down in 15 minutes or less. There's so much text here, I'm not going to read it all. I want to give you just the clear, concise breakdown of everything. We've got a buff. We're getting right into it. We got a buff to Demi. This is the ancient exclusive lord from the cultists, and I'm not going to read everything. A lot of things are getting tweaked. I can do a full video on this if you want, so let me know if you want that in the comments. The gist of it is she is definitively better, and she's just definitively still not that great. That's my opinion. The biggest change we're getting is her Awaken 1. When this passive Waltz of Doom stacks to full stacks, it increases her attack range during her ultimate, Elegy of Ruin, and it increases her attack speed. This is what we need. We just need her to have a bigger attack range. She functionally does not work very well without the bigger attack range, and they're gating this behind an Awakening on an Ancient Exclusive Lord. She is not going to be worth your Polished Soulstone, your Legendary Soulstone, your best one, right? The special one. So this is just something people won't have. There's a lot of other stuff here, like they're lowering the ult cap. We're getting more stacks, things like this. We're going to get extra damage. The Lord skill's improved. I guess that's the other big takeaway. Right now, her Lord skill is contingent upon killing with a certain frequency to stack the damage boosts. Now it is just contingent on enemies being in basic attack range of any cultists, and that's better, and it's up to 7 enemies or more. That's when you cap out at 35%. This is stronger than Morgan, who just gives an AoE damage boost of 25%, but there's still a condition here, so for certain content, Morgan still will be better. But all in all, the Lord skill is a clear buff to what Demi had before. The rest of the kit, she's definitely getting stronger, but the big thing I was hoping to see was the increased attack range, and they are gating that behind A1. And yeah, it's not like she's so OP with everything else, so she's going to be better. Don't get it twisted at all, but it's not insane to me. It's certainly not what I was hoping for when I made my Demi hype video. That's not what I anticipated. Let's continue on. We've got Failen here, the Buckthorn Druid. They fixed an issue where basic attacks previously couldn't hit airborne units. Nothing about her kit says things are gated behind ground units only, so that's a great fix. Beatrix is only getting better. Now they're making it so she will auto-ult when anyone enters the battlefield, since she can hit anywhere on the battlefield. With the last patch, they introduced it so you could ult when no one was in range, because once you ult, everything's a range, like with Idril, for example. Now they're making it so that logic also applies to the auto-cast, like when you put on the auto-ult button. We've got over here Cassiel. This is a cool thing. As I'm reading this, when you click on him to go to ult, when he has Divine Retribution ready to go, which is contingent upon allies being in his attack range, his ultimate attack range, it will change the icon from like the normal Divine whatever to Divine Retribution. So cool. I think that's what this means. If you think it means something else, let me know. And finally, we have a general bug fix. This is in light, I believe, of Nastia and the Poisoner meta entering the game. They fixed an issue where immunity to specific debuffs wouldn't prevent stack accumulation. Now it does. So like if you're immune to debuffs, you're not going to be able to stack a bunch of poison on and then it just doesn't do anything. The reason this is important is because that would be enabling Nastia's Lord skill, the special part of her Lord skill, which is extra damage per debuff. Now you can't accumulate a bunch of debuffs that aren't going to do anything anyway. So yeah, we got Guild Wars here. The first stuff is very standard. Season 9 starting. They're going to update the maps. There's going to be a new theme. There's a new Demon Soldier that's exclusive specifically to this season, and then will, be added to one of the gear raids as a drop. This is the Batwings Banshee. I believe this is the unit we're used to seeing in Gear Dungeon 2, aka Gear Raid 5. And then you'll see the previous season, the Season 8 exclusive Demon Soldier, the Chaos Shaman, will now be obtainable through Gear Raid. Which Gear Raid? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they're not telling us. The Demon Soldier Batwings Banshee, she's going to be an airborne unit with team support capabilities that can reduce the damage output of enemy heroes. So a little damage reduction she places as she flies by is what I'm expecting to see. Season 8 in Guild Wars is ending, which means the Gladiators Gauntlet is beginning. And fun. Good luck in that with all your guilds. Here you can see on the 6000s server, slightly different dates. This is the best part. And now this is where the update starts getting juicy. Right now you're like, Fastidious, you said this was awesome. It's about to get awesome, frankly. Like from here on out, the rest of the update is just banger, banger, banger. Thank you to this video's sponsor, Etheria Restart. If you haven't been keeping up with my channel, you might have missed that I'm posting a lot of Etheria videos lately. This game is freaking awesome. I am sponsored by them, but you guys know if you've kept up with the channel, I've been sponsored by other games in the past that I don't like. I love this game. The game is launching globally on June 5th. I really hope to see you there. I'll have a pre-register link so you can get a bunch of freebies in the description and the top pinned comment. And I really hope to see you at my stream, which will be all day long, June 5th, this Thursday, 2 days after this video goes live. I'm going to be re-rolling. I'm going to be grinding. You can learn a lot about the early game. I've put a lot of hours into this game already, and I freaking can't wait. Thank you. Back to the video. The most requested thing I've ever heard with Guild Wars ever is please, please, Moonton, make it so I can fight my own defense. I want to test out my own defense. You can do that. They're adding this thing called the Sandbox. All you have to do is the Guild Wars training stage, which you can find very easily in the Guild Wars menu. And once you've done that, you can now create your own practice sandbox where you can test out your own defense. So you don't have to nag your fellow guildmates or friends or whatever. There's two modes, as you can see. There's solo practice. That is what I just described. You set up one specific team. You can only do one team at a time, but one specific team that you're going to fight against and you're going to test out. And then the second mode is player face-off. This is going to take priority for like friendly face-off with Guild Wars stuff. And again, this can be toggled on or off if you want to make this, accessible, fightable for your guild members and your friends. So it is whoever allows practice matches. You can see the rules here. You can set up a separate defense exclusively for the sandbox. The face-off battles will prioritize using this team. If no sandbox defense team is set, the Guild Wars defense will be used instead. This is important because to change what your friendly face-off defense is, for example, you'd have to actually change the setup of your Guild Wars defense. This allows you to have an auxiliary thing, a separate thing, before you commit to swapping out a defense that you might already really like and think is good. I just think this is a great, great, great practice feature, and it's the most requested thing for as long as I can remember with Guild Wars. The gear update rules: the sandbox defense team's gear is saved separately from Guild War and needs to be set up independently. Good to know, so just keep that in mind as you set it up. And then generally with all Guild Wars content, they have optimized different interfaces in general Guild Wars, Gladiator's Gauntlet, and the Sandbox. You get a gear detail preview pop-up for deployed heroes so you can check yourself. A little more convenient that way. Make sure everyone's wearing the stuff they're supposed to be wearing before you have to jump into different menus and check in a much clunkier way. There's also a quick view button for the mini-map. When you're setting up your team, the BP calculation is changing from real time to update only when you actually make a gear change, so that's kind of nice. Guild Wars attack codes, they're fixing an issue there. They've optimized mini-maps for the garrison setups. They've added a quick view button for garrison team setup on the mini-map. And then finally, they fixed an issue where the mini-map display didn't match actual hero positions. Just a straight up bug. Let's get into, I think, people's favorite thing from this update. It's either this or the general arena, which we're going to talk about after. This is saving loadouts for basically all PvE content. In Immortal Codex, in Drake's Chasm, Gear Raid 1, 2, and 3, Artifact Material Raid, once you go in and you save an auto fight, like when you do it in Arena, they are going to remember all of the gear and artifacts you had on those heroes. So you're not going to have to go in and re-gear and move gear around as you go from Gear Raid 1 to Gear Raid 3 to Artifact Material Raid to Gear Raid 2 to Guild Boss 1, Drake's Chasm, to Immortal Codex, to the next Immortal Codex fight, this, that, and the other. It's all going to be saved. Now, I really hope there's no bugs with this on launch. It's possible. I suggest we give them some grace, but this is a huge leap, right? This is one of the most requested things ever. It's like, I don't want to have to keep re-gearing. The way you can remember my gear and my artifacts in Arena, can you add that to PvE stuff? They're doing it to all the big stuff. Immortal Codex, Drake's Chasm, Gear Raid 1 through 3, Artifact Material Raid. This is going to be huge, and this is going to allow people to really optimize their accounts better, because I know a lot of people think it's annoying to move gear around. That is the best way to max out your account. Now, with this feature, it's going to save it for you. Fantastic. Number 2 here, this is a great thing. Now when you take over an auto fight, so this was an issue previously in Arena, which now would have become an issue with all this PvE content as well. You would change the way you're, triggering ults, the way you're timing things out. And if you go to save it at the end, it wouldn't save the preloaded previous autosave gear. It would save whatever those people were wearing at that time, literally in your roster. So in Arena, for example, you would accidentally end up saving over all of your stuff with almost almost always the wrong gear or maybe even no gear. This would have been the same issue in PvE, but they're getting out in front of it, and now it will use whatever gear was previously saved. That will go into the new autosave if you interrupt an auto fight and take it over manually and then choose to resave. If you want to redo everything and redo the gear, you'll have to enter manually and then resave that as a fresh auto. Here's another thing. They're hiding all the good things in Section 3 that they're calling stages, but this is one of the other most requested things. People say, stop giving me BS stuff in my Guild Boss 1 drops, right? They're starting now in Abyss 1. So this is obviously the highest difficulty in Guild Boss 1. Hopefully this moves a little more towards Nightmare 4 eventually, but they're just improving a lot of the stuff that can drop there. And this is going to be at all tiers from all the different chests, the 5 different levels within Abyss 1 of tiered rewards. So the first thing, they're reducing the drop rate of random mythic gear. This is amazing. I get this like almost every day when I'm farming Abyss 1 and I get my chests, and it's just like random mythic gear. It's never ancient. It's never good. I don't know if I've ever kept a single piece. They're reducing that rate. Hopefully they reduce it a lot. Next up, they're adding variant gear drops. That is awesome. So we can get some unidentified pieces. That is fantastic. They are also adding Titan Meteorite and Wisdom Meteorite drops. We'll take it. More opportunities to get exclusives. I hope these aren't so common. I mean, this is not such a great drop, let's be honest, unless it's a very high quantity, but it won't be. And then finally, they're just straight up removing certain low value rewards. So we'll see this once the update goes live, but I would assume a lot of the trash items just won't be drops anymore. At least on the highest chests, I'd like to see it everywhere. Now, next up, they've updated new tags for the first 5 hidden chamber stages and the boss stages in the Tower of Deception. Cool. But the big one, this is actual content, guys. We're getting new content, and I anticipate this will be very spicy. For Chapter 9, both Part 1 and Part 2, we are getting hard difficulty and expert difficulty. I'm very curious how difficult these things are going to be. As it stands now, unless you have a very well-developed account, Chapter 9 Part 2 is still at least a little hard, right? It's not that simple. Chapter 9 Part 2, it's not the easiest thing in the world. And if you got a younger account, it's hard. The first time you beat it, it's hard. What is hard difficulty going to be like? I mean, it could be very difficult. And an expert difficulty, I would anticipate the last stage of expert difficulty, Chapter 9 Part 2, is going to be nuts. That'd be my guess. Now we got Arena. This is what everyone wanted. Lady Alex is becoming way too necessary. They're going to make her easier to get by giving us a lot more Apex coins. This is still going to be an issue for a lot of people because it'll be a long grind if you're not in Plat 3. An amazingly long grind because you're going to have to get to Plat 3. If you're in Plat 3, though, it's now pretty realistic over time you can get Lady Alex. Like previously, it would have been years. Now maybe it would be a year. And to people who complain about that, it can't be that easy. She's like the best hero in the game for a lot of stuff. You need to have something you're working towards. It can't be all freebies. If you grind and you make it to Plat 3, if you're diligent, it'll be less than a year. You're going to get Lady Alex, and that's great. So they're not lowering her costs, but they're making it a lot easier for us to get coins. So in Plat 3 Overlord and Apex Overlord, they've increased the weekly arena settlements of Apex coins. So now in Plat 3, you'll get 600. In Overlord, you'll get 800. And in Apex, you'll get a whopping 2,250. I don't know what Apex got before, but I know in Plat, I believe it was only 200. Am I getting that right, Plat people? And then I know in Overlord it was only 400. So they're doubling Overlord. I think they're tripling Plat. And I don't know what Apex was, but that is a big, amazing number. If we go to point 2 here, they have increased the Apex coin rewards for arena battle victories. So these are individual wins. What do you get? Previously in Plat, you got nothing. Now you get 5 coins. That is infinitely more. So you're going to be able to grind it up just by doing your fights. In Overlord, it was 10. Now it is up to 12. And now this is a big one. I mean, it's only for the people that already are on top. But in Apex, you're getting 40 per victory. Usually in Apex, you only get 10. Occasionally, you'll get a big drop. I think it goes up to 25. I'm not sure. I've only spent a few minutes in Apex. My account is not 100% there yet, at least for certain modes. But a lot of times in Apex, maybe I did 50 battles in Apex, almost everyone I'd get 10 coins. So now they're standardizing it at 40. A lot of extra incentive for higher end players to get up there. Next, after the update, they're going to all send us a lump sum based on our highest placement ever. Now, what does that mean? They are saying you can receive Apex coin rewards based on your highest arena rank achieved between January the 1st of 2025 and when the update happens tomorrow. What does rank achieve mean? The highest you've ever been and like existed for even one fight, or that you finished a weekend settlement? I don't know. For me, I'm pretty curious because I have been to Apex, but I've never finished an Apex at the end of the week. So I'm very curious to see what happens. We'll find out tomorrow. But this is a nice chunk of coins. For Plat 3, it's 1,000 Apex coins. For Overlord, it's 1,500 Apex coins. And for Apex, it's 3,000. So that gets you a nice chunk of the way there. Remember, right, your base copy of Lady Alex costs 40,000 Apex coins. So over here with the Apex Overlord, that's 7.5% just in one lump sum you're going to get at the end of the update. For a lot of people, it will depend if it was the end of the week settlement or just the highest you've ever been, even for a moment. But regardless, this is a lot of coins we're going to get all at once. All this stuff will be distributed through the in-game mail, and it should happen within 7 working days after the update. Hopefully it happens a lot sooner so we know the answers to these questions. Next up, commanders who ranked in the service top 600 and have already obtained Lady Alexandra will receive her skin. I don't know what they mean by the server's top 600. They say they will announce the list of eligible commanders soon. It's probably not most of us, let's be honest. You're going to have to already have Lady Alex and be whoever they consider top 600. It's not most of us, but you're going to get a free skin voucher. You'll have until the end of October 2025 to redeem it. Everyone else will be able to get it using Apex coins in the Apex shop. Hopefully it's not that expensive, but let's be honest, it's probably going to be between 10 and 20,000 coins. I would love if it was like 3,000 or 5,000, but I would guess they're going to make it expensive. Finally, with the arena stuff, with specifically the AoE DPS challenge, they're making it a little easier, at least a little faster. They've reduced the HP for the monsters in waves 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? There are 9 waves, right? So in the first 4 waves, those monsters will die quicker. So definitely take note and adjust your lineup accordingly. Finally, we'll go really fast here through the others. When you're selling and cleansing your gear and artifacts now, there's going to be a little pop-up in the interface, and it will show you how many pieces of ancient gear or exclusive artifacts are included in that sale. So this will be a nice thing to check for most people if you're selling accidentally, or for other people that are meaning to sell this stuff, they'll be able to check and make sure it's what they wanted to sell. It's the right amount. When you're selling exclusive artifacts now, you will receive extra artifact materials based on the number of exclusive artifacts sold. I hope this means like Gleaming Meteorite or something. We'll have to see. But this is really nice because you need to get something from selling exclusive artifacts that is better than a normal artifact, in my opinion. For those who already sold exclusive artifacts, have no fear. If you did that before the update, you will get compensation artifact materials, and they'll be sent to you via the mail based on the number of exclusive artifacts you'd previously sold. So I really, really hope it is Gleaming Meteorite. All right, they're going to give us more freebies. So you guys might know before an event's coming, they're like, hey, the event's coming. Click this button to add it to your calendar and you get some freebies. We're still going to get that, but additionally, they're going to have daily login rewards after that. So you add it to your calendar, you accept the event, and then they've incentivized you logging in every day leading up to the event. If these login rewards are somewhat event themed, I think that would be a home run because it's going to kind of build extra hype for the event. Finally, for people who want to stock up forever on their monthly card, they have removed the purchase limit. And last but not least, they've improved the interface display and event experience for the Return 8 event. This is when you've been away from the game for like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. There's like a welcome back event and they give you freebies. It's a good update. Undeniably, the arena stuff is big. The Sandbox in Guild Wars is big. The new content with the campaign should be big. I really hope the rewards in Hard Chapter 9 Part 1 and 2 and Expert Chapter 9 Part 1 and 2 are more than just like a single divine summon. We'll have to see. I hope they incentivize us to do it. They make it worth our while. And yeah, I'm excited about this update. I really am. I also think the gear loadout thing is going to be a game changer for so many people that want to min-max their account, but don't want to be a total sweat lord. I get it. It should be a really nice thing. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to R-Type for editing this video. Go check out R-Type's channel. I've been Fastidious. If you like my stuff, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share it with your mommy. And I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.